Well, the Republicans have finally announced how they are going to repeal and replace Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. Well, it's not good news. Well, to be fair, it depends on who you are. If you're young, there's actually a little bit of good news in there. If you're old, ooh, not so much. If you're rich, wonderful news in there. If you're poor and need health insurance, not so much. So let's go to a description. The plan endorsed by House Speaker Paul Ryan, by contrast to Obamacare, offers less financial assistance to low-income people, likely resulting in millions of Americans losing the health coverage they have today, and provides tax credits to people with higher incomes. Wow, isn't that nice of them? The bill scraps key consumer protections. Consumers, do we really have to protect them? Why don't we protect the rich instead? The legislation is a vehicle for massive tax cuts for rich people and corporations, paid for by slashing assistance to poor and middle-class people. Enjoy. Now, if you're, by the way, one of those poor elderly people who voted for Donald Trump thinking, oh, I'm finally gonna get change. Congratulations, you're about to get change. Now, I'm going to give you the depth of how much your bill can go up in a second. But before we do that, actually, let's pause here to bring in Donald Trump, because I was led to believe by Trump during the campaign that you weren't gonna lose your insurance and it wasn't gonna cost you anything more and you were gonna get all the benefits. Phones for everybody, cars for everybody. You get a car, you get a car, you get health insurance, you get health insurance. You think I'm kidding? Look, it's not hyperbole. Watch Trump.
What's your plan for Obamacare?
Obamacare is going to be repealed and replaced. Obamacare is a disaster. If you look at what's going on with premiums, where they're up 45, 50, 55%.
So how do you fix it?
There's many different ways, by the way. Everybody's got to be covered. This is an un-Republican thing for me to say, because a lot of times they say, no, the lower 25%, they can't afford private. But
universal health care.
I am going to take care of everybody. I don't care if it costs me votes or not. Everybody's going to be taken care of much better than they're taken care of now.
The uninsured person,
right,
is going to be taken care of.
They're going to be taken care of.
How?
I would make a deal with existing hospitals to take care of people. And you know what? This is probably...
Make a deal. Who pays for it?
The government's going to pay for it. And people are going to be able to go out and negotiate great plans with lots of different competition, with lots of competitors, with great companies. And they can have their doctors, they can have their plans, they can have everything.
Turns out not so much. Universal health care paid for by the government, and they can have everything. That's what he just promised you. You just saw it there. Rewind it if you want and watch it again. Okay, yes, that would actually be fairly progressive. It'd be much more progressive than Obamacare. It'd be way to the left of Obamacare. That is not what we got here. We got pretty much the exact opposite. The bill doesn't say how it would pay for its spending after scrapping the taxes that finance the Affordable Care Act. Because the taxes that went to the rich and large corporations in Obamacare wasn't because Obama and the Democrats are socialists who hate rich. No, it's because you have to find a way to pay for it. This stuff doesn't grow on trees. You have to be responsible. It actually decreased the deficit. Did you know that? The Affordable Care Act actually decreased the deficit? It was planned to. Now, when you take away those taxes that went to the rich and giant corporations, well, then you don't have any money left. Then you created a giant hole in the deficit and you can't pay for the plan. And remember when Scott Pelley asked him, he's like, I'm gonna do the hospitals, they're gonna do it, they're gonna provide it. Who's gonna pay for it? The government's gonna pay for it. With whose money? In fact, the House Republican leaders are poised to move the measure forward before scorekeepers at the Congressional Budget Office have made an assessment. Because that's a nonpartisan group. And when they come in and they say, yeah, you just put like $1 trillion hole in the deficit, the Republicans are gonna be like, oops, oh, sorry, we already passed it. What can we do? Oh, deficits, don't worry about it, deficits don't matter. This is highly irresponsible. Okay, now let's get to the details of what it does. Well, it does give cheaper premiums for younger and healthier people and new tax breaks for more affluent or affluent consumers. So if you're rich or you're young, hey, you do get a little bit of a break. Keep it real, that does happen. Okay, if you're young and healthy, as long as you're sure you're gonna stay healthy, you don't have to pay quite as much. So if you're one of those people who's a right winger who doesn't care about anyone else on the planet or what might happen to you at a later time, then you're thinking, score, I knew it. He's for me and screw everyone else. Okay, now who does it hurt? Higher out-of-pocket costs, higher premiums for older and sicker people, and ultimately many more uninsured. Well, look, that's the thing about health insurance. I'm healthy now, but am I positive I'm going to be healthy next year, 5 years from now, tomorrow? That's why we get health insurance, because we're not really sure, are we? So as long as you're healthy now, yeah, you don't have to pay that much because it doesn't cost the health care companies and the health insurance companies that much to insure you. But the minute you turn sick, sad day for you. Well, that's the whole point of health insurance, because we think we're going to get sick at some point. And if you don't cover those people as much, well, then what's the point? Okay, it's a very clever plan that they've come up with. Well, you're fine if you're healthy. When you get sick, though, good luck. The Affordable Care Act limited insurers from charging older customers more than 3 times what they charge younger adults. The House bill would raise that to 5 times. This may enable younger consumers to find cheaper coverage, but older policyholders would face higher rates. Now, I want to explain to you why they do that. It's not that the insurance companies hate older people. It would be a very random discrimination. No, older people get sicker more. They're more likely to have bigger health problems, and it's more likely to cost them money. So if all you cared about was the free market, you'd say, well, that's it. Once you get to a certain age, it doesn't pay me to cover you, so go ahead and die. I'm not going to give you insurance, or your insurance is going to be $1 million. So when you're not going to be able to afford it unless you're incredibly rich, and then when you get sick, you're going to die. Ha ha! Free market, baby! Death to everybody, death panels for everybody, right? Now, we don't like that, not only as Americans, but all across the world. In fact, we're far more right-wing than the rest of developed world, than the rest of Western society, than the rest of Europe, etc. Those folks have figured out, hey, the point of insurance is to make sure we're all okay when we get sick, when we get older, when we need health care. Now, this program basically says, if you're healthy, that's okay. But if you're older, now I know they got to charge you more. So even Obamacare, older people could get charged up to 3 times as much as younger people. Now this plan moves it to 5 times as much. So if you're an older American who thought Trump was going to deliver for you, we got another thought coming to you. If you thought your insurance was going to be cheaper, you got a lot of new thoughts coming your way and a lot of new bills coming your way. Okay. Now, insurers could charge higher premiums to people who did not maintain continuous coverage, a lapse of more than 63 days, 30% more for their policies when they sign up again. So now it gets complicated in the weeds here, but it's funny, that provision is criticized by both sides. The right wing says, nah, we shouldn't cover them at all. Who cares, man? Let them deal with it, okay? I don't want to give any money away to people who need insurance if they can't afford it. That's called welfare. I don't want it, right? On the other hand, if you thought, well, I don't have to worry about pre-existing conditions anymore, and the Republicans know that that's popular, that Obamacare got rid of the pre-existing condition loophole that the healthcare companies used to use, the health insurance companies, and they said, don't worry about pre-existing conditions. Well, now you have to worry again. Because you switch jobs, you lose insurance for some reason, they're going to crank up your premiums the minute they have an opportunity to. So is it cheaper for you? Nope. What happened? I thought it was going to be cheaper for everybody. I thought we're going to get a chicken in every pot. Okay. Starting in 2020, the federal government would no longer provide those federal funds, the Medicaid grants, for people who newly qualify under the expanded eligibility standards. So, less people qualifying to get coverage through Medicaid, plus Medicaid gets turned into block grants and they are capped. So they do not necessarily meet the needs of the citizens of that particular state. If after a while it doesn't keep up with inflation and there's just not enough money, once again, that's called sad day for you. You no longer have insurance. Did I say everybody would be insured? Why did you trust me? I'm Donald Trump. And by the way, I'm a Republican. Did you not get the memo after all these years that the Republicans work for their rich donors, whether they're rich individuals or they're multinational corporations? They sign the checks and the Republicans work for them. Now, if you say a lot of times the Democrats work for them too, I hear you, brother. In fact, Obamacare was not some sort of left-wing proposal. It's almost exactly the Heritage Foundation's original proposal. The Heritage Foundation is a right-wing think tank. It's the same plan that Mitt Romney did in Massachusetts. So your two options were right-wing and massively, ridiculously right-wing. That's what happens when the donors write the checks and buy off all of our politicians. I don't know what the next step is, but some conservatives are promising it. National Review is against this, the Koch brothers are against this. They say it's too lenient on the poor. Well, we didn't put our boot firmly enough on their neck. Those guys still might somehow, some of them, still able to retain insurance. Justin Amash, another Republican conservative, calls this plan, this draconian plan, Obamacare 2.0. It's never enough. There's never enough tax breaks for the rich. They got to just suck up all the money and redistribute that wealth. And if in the process you don't get insurance, you don't get healthcare coverage, what do they care? When's the last time a poor person wrote a check to a Republican? If you're not writing checks to them, you don't exist. You think they're for you? You have no idea what you're talking about. Now, how this gets resolved at the end is going to be a very interesting dynamic, because they got to keep a couple of dozen Republicans in the House, assuming all the Democrats vote against it. And with Democrats and their craven ability to sell out and to capitulate to Republicans, I wouldn't bank on that. But if they lose some conservative Republicans, they might not be able to pass the bill. In the Senate, they only have a 2-person majority, so you lose basically 3 because the vice president could break the tie. You lose 3 Republican senators in the Senate and you won't be able to pass it in the Senate. Again, don't worry, corporate shills like Joe Manchin pretending to be a Democrat will probably step up to the plate and help Trump and the Republicans, but you got to be careful about each vote. And the moderates don't like this either, even the moderate Republicans. Let me tell you about that. On Monday afternoon, Republican Senators Rob Portman, Shelley Moore Capito, Cory Gardner, and Lisa Murkowski, all from states that have expanded Medicaid, warned that they could not vote for a bill that took away federal money for the expansion. So it's not a done deal yet. You can actually, there are not very many moderate Republicans at all in Congress, but hey, there's 4 that are kind of moderate in this case because the people in their own states would be crushed by this bill and they're not gonna be happy about it. So let them know. Let those senators know. Let the moderate Republicans, however, like 2 or 3 of them that, like I said, that remain. Let the conservative Republicans know. Let the ones that are just the regular old massively right-wing Republicans know. Let the Democrats know. If they're gonna take away your insurance, they're gonna increase your insurance. Let them know you are not happy with that, because it's not a dictatorship yet in America. They actually have to pass laws. So this is proposed legislation. By the way, another part of this is also disastrous. They would, in essence, defund Planned Parenthood and not allow your health insurance to cover abortion if you want the tax credits to be applied to it. So which makes covering abortion much more difficult. Planned Parenthood, the tiny percentage of that is abortion. Most of it is just helps poor people and middle-class people, particularly women. If you don't like that they're defunding it, well then fight, because this is not law yet. And they fought Obamacare tooth and nail. When Obamacare was proposed, the media would not stop talking about, you need to get Republicans to agree with the Democrats. But the Republicans were never going to agree with the Democrats, because that's not what this is about. It's not a debate of ideas. They were always going to do the bidding of their donors. So they all voted against it. Now I don't hear the media talking about how they need Democratic votes. No, all of a sudden you don't need bipartisanship. That's okay. Go after the Republicans, and if the Democrats are wavering, absolutely go after them as well to make sure that this is a real fight. They fought Obamacare for at least a year, and they stripped out incredibly important provisions like the public option, which could have actually made it more affordable. So let's actually fight this time for doing the right thing, for getting better coverage, and having a lot more people insured in a humane way. Support independent media and get the whole Young Turks 2-hour show and other network shows all ad-free. tytnetwork.com/join. Come join us today.